in so that we can have this conversation about today. I'll just wait till a few people jump on before I get started. So let me know that you can hear and see me okay. Okay, we'll just wait for some people to jump on. We have a little bit of a delay. Hello, hello. We're going to have a great conversation today about some more of those really confusing things about narcissists and how it actually works in the narcissistic mind. Okay, we've got people coming on now. Hello, everybody. Let me know from where you are in the world. I am back from my motorhome holiday. I'm back in my home that I've just sold and looking where I'm going to be living, which is all very exciting and so fluid and thriver. So you're so welcome, Zarimna. It's I hope I've said your name right. Thank you for your beautiful message. You are very, very welcome. So we have people coming in. Now, I just want you to remember to share these videos and really help get them out so that we can break these cycles of people believing that they're victimized and that there is no way to recover, because there absolutely is. And I think you know by now how passionate I am about that, and how I really want to allow people to realize how to take their power, their soul, their sanity back and move forward into a thrival life, not just a mere survival life. We can do better than that. Today's conversation is about why, hi Faye, always gorgeous to see you here, why you will never get a narcissist to approve of you. And of course, can you relate to this? Because I know I did, trying to twist myself into 1,000 different shapes to actually get the narcissist to approve of me. And it was like, you feel that sometimes you get it right. And if you just do this, or if you just do that, or if you just accommodate, or if you just go along, or if you just acquiesce, or if you kind of hear them and think, okay, well, that can kind of make sense. And you keep trying and trying and trying, but yet it's like the hurdles keep getting higher and you keep trying to jump them and you keep crashing and burning. And it really seems like you cannot please this person durably. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And it's never enough. Have you had that experience? Are you going through that experience right now? Let me know if you are. Let me know if you are going through exactly that, or you've wondered why that is. And it's driving you crazy because it's not making sense. And this, of course, it could be a parent. It could be, maybe you've been going through this with your parent for 50 years. Maybe you have this with a sibling. Oh, Joanna, I'm so pleased you love my channel. Okay, so Just Megs is going through this. Maybe it's with your own child. And absolutely, it can be with a love partner, a spouse. It could be a boss, a work colleague. It could be a friend. And it's really awful. And the thing is too, the person that you want approval from is somebody that you deeply care about. You would love their approval. You would love them to know that you are a good person. You do care about them. You do have their best interests at heart. And you're there to support their life. But yet they are continually biting the hand that could feed them and love them and better their life. Why are they doing that? I hope today's conversation is really going to help you. The reason why they are doing that is because the narcissist's reality is completely different than yours. And when somebody is wounded, now let's take this as a narcissist, and then we'll kind of peel it back for people that are doing this that are maybe not narcissistic. But when we're talking about a narcissist, they have a completely different model of the world. There is a distinct fracture there in their literal zeitgeist, in their psyche, in their brain, in their beingness, in their beliefs. It's fractured. And the fracture is that I am separated from source, I'm separated from life and others. I have to. It's me versus everything. That's the narcissistic motto. It doesn't matter how much they dress it up and try to pretend otherwise. That is the narcissistic zeitgeist. I am separated from all. I'm out on the edge. I'm not safe. I'm not loved. I'm not secure. I'm not anything. So now it's me versus everyone and everything. So naturally, a narcissist doesn't trust anybody. They don't trust source. They don't trust their higher power. They don't want to come home to that. They've thrown that at the bottom of the scrap heap and they have said, I am God. I am the authority. And therefore, for me to be the authority, I have to have complete control and dominion. And whether I do that covertly or overtly, it doesn't matter. And this is not a benevolent God like our higher self is. This is more of a tyrannical God, which is I am superior, everything else is inferior, and actually nobody else matters. So the narcissist literally believes in their zeitgeist that you are not a blood and bone, flesh, soulful, autonomous being. They don't recognize you as a human. You actually are a prop, an organism, a tool, an object for them to get what they want. And they can pretend otherwise. They can tell you otherwise. They can profess otherwise. But the truth is in the actions. The truth is in the actions. And as Thrive is healing and taking our power and our soul and our life back, we have got to get beyond trusting people's words and looking at the actions. So what's happening with the narcissist is their entire script of life is everything and everybody else is to serve me. And what I have to do to make that happen is they're a parasite, whether they know it or not. And of course they're not going to admit it because it's just their normal. And they actually think everybody else thinks the same way. They actually, because this is the problem we all have. Whatever our vision or version of the world is and how we think, we tend to project that and overlay that on others and believe that that's their belief system in the world. And belief equals behavior. So we don't have the same beliefs. We don't think the same way. We don't have the same behaviors, but we think everybody else does. And we have to wake up and realize they don't. There are really good people who are connected to humanity and source. Not perfect people, that doesn't exist. But there are people who are orientated that way. They have compassion and empathy. They look at, I don't want to do anything that's going to harm or hurt others to get ahead because I believe in oneness. And I believe in soul source connection. I believe in the oneness of source, myself with myself, myself with life and others. I believe that it's an organism of oneness, and I want to work in that organism to have a life that's win-win. I want to improve my life, but I am deeply invested in helping other people improve their life as well. That's the basis of a decent human being. Narcissists are not in that paradigm. And where we struggle is we think they are, but they're not. So you are literally trying to create a cooperative relationship with an alien, with a different species. And I'm not kidding. It literally is that. So when you understand this, it can help you understand that the more that you're trying to work with that and you're trying to get that alien, that literal reptilian separation brain that is in me versus you and survival, and I will do whatever is necessary to get my share of the pie. And I'm in a comprehension of to win, others have to lose. When you're trying to change that zeitgeist, you never will. Because the people that we choose to be in our life are the people that we choose to live in our life. And the person you choose and the person that you stay connected with is the person you get. And it's so hard, as Joanna was saying, it's so hard to believe that people are like this. And I want you to let go of that belief. It's so hard. And just say, okay, it's true. People are like this. Because the truth sets you free. If we want to be in denial of the truth, if you want to be in the darkness, hiding under a pillow and not wanting to look at it, it's going to take you out. If you want to be in the darkness as a bright light, which is I accept and I work with the truth, you're going to get out of it. We have got to stop living in denial. Because otherwise you're never going to get out of the darkness. Right? You're like the child under the bed, scared of the boogeyman, instead of getting out from under the bed and switching on the light. Is that making sense? And that's what I am so passionate about. You know, I saw a meme yesterday, which was the essential things to have a happy life is compassion, respect, integrity, and truth. I want to turn that around and put truth right at the beginning. Because without facing and accepting truth, we can never set ourselves free. And we need it more in our world now more than ever. We need to seek and look for the truth and just stop sticking our head under a pillow and hoping it's all going to go away. Right? Yes, we need to be brave. Okay? So getting back to the thing about why a narcissist will never approve of you. I'll tell you why. Because their version of life is insane. I really mean that. It is actually insane. Why is it insane? Because it's not aligned with source, truth, the light, love, caring, compassion, teamwork, unity. And in fact, it is so insane that it is going to be like a wrecking ball wherever it goes, because it's not sustainable. It's all about, I win at your expense. Think about cancer. Cancer feeds off cells and destroys them and obliterates them. And then what ends up happening? The cancer dies in the body that it's in because it destroys it. That's the path the narcissist is on. It's insane. It doesn't make sense. That's where they're going. So, you as a source soul individual, no matter where you're at your healing, and we've always got stuff that we can heal and come through into our true soul source connection. That's the work I love doing. That's what I did for myself, and thousands of others in this community have done it. And we are standing in this truth and power, creating and generating amazing, incredible, beautiful lives, which is what you've got to look forward to. And we're on this side helping others come out of the pits of hell with a narcissist in this insanity, which is leading to your demise at the narcissist's benefit, gain. They're a parasite. We know we want them to be loving. We know we want them to wake up. We know we want them to care. We know we want them to be all of the things that we would love them to be, whether they're a parent. We want them to get that we love them and we want to help them. And maybe you haven't realized yet, as it took me a long time to realize, but these people actually are helping us in incredible ways, because by not approving of us and by dragging us through the mud, they are teaching us to turn back home and learn and heal up into approving about ourselves and knowing that Source approves of us beyond measure. And it can be argued from the biggest, highest spiritual perspective, the biggest picture. What is the greatest gift of love that anybody can give you? Giving you back to loving yourself. So at this human soul contract level of what's going on with the narcissist, they're never going to approve of you because you are not going to approve of them. You are not going to improve of an insane dichotomy, this insane narrative, of this insane way of looking at life, of this insane thing that is belittling you and diminishing you and sucking your life force and your resources and your money and your stuff and your sexuality and your soul, because that's what they're doing. And they're trying to shame and blame and gaslight and twist you into it and make you agree with them. And as soon as you challenge their narrative and their insane model of life, which is I will suck everything dry to fulfill my agenda for my false self. That's it. That's what they're doing. You're not going to agree with that. You would have to be a complete and utter masochistic martyr to agree with that. You would have to be insane. And you think you're going insane because at times you try to agree just to keep the peace, but you cannot acquiesce your way out of tyranny. You can't. You give an inch, they take a mile. It doesn't stop because you are being emptied out all the way to your demise. And if you're in there fighting for your rights, the narcissist delights in using your need for approval against you. blaming and shaming you for not being loving, not being supportive, not being loyal, not handing them this money, not trusting them, wanting things in writing, putting the fear in you that they're going to leave you or smear you or replace you if you don't acquiesce. So how are they doing this? Well, they're not approving of you. They're making us jump through hoops that get higher and higher and higher while we chase approval. And of course, as kids, we absolutely chased approval with our parents because we felt like we were going to die without it. How did we know that we could approve of ourselves if our parents didn't approve of us? And sadly, in our unconscious world, a lot of parents were programmed with that whole tough love. Like, I am going to keep putting the hoops up, and I am going to crack the whip, and I am going to make you jump higher and higher and higher because it's good for you. So we didn't have that approval. We didn't grow up knowing that we were adored and approved of and loved by Source, our higher power, and the true force that is love and light and truth and power. We didn't know that we were adored beyond measure because we exist. Because nobody modeled it to us. And we hadn't come home to that. And as little kids, chasing approval and never getting it, we didn't feel important enough to be loved. We didn't feel like somebody would put us on our knee and just listen to how we felt and what was going on with us without trying to talk us out of it or tell us our feelings were wrong or guilt us or say, well, yeah, but what about me? We didn't have that experience. So we didn't realize that we were growing up and we were seeking unconsciously relationships of people who would do it better this time so that we could feel loved and approved of. But what happened was because we hadn't come back to the approval of true source, we weren't solid and whole on the inside in regard to this. And we ended up with the people that matched the unhealed wounds. And then again, we chased approval from people who were never going to give it to us. But here's the thing about narcissists. Their lessons to us are so hard and heavy, so brutal, that no longer does life go on as normal. Like, we can't just pick ourselves, dust ourselves off and keep going on the same way we were going and survive our wounds and think, well, this is just normal. What happens is we land flat on our butts, on our behinds, and we can't get up and dust off and get on again because it's so significant. And that is the point of personal catharsis, where it's time to turn within. And it's time to heal the only true relationship there really is, which is between us, ourselves, and Source and our higher power. And then we emerge from that thriving, knowing who we are. And never again will we be in relationship with somebody who doesn't approve of us. Because, and this is the truth about love and approval, we will never tolerate a relationship less than the love and approval we have for ourselves. And where we want to go as a thriver and where we want to heal to is being able to have the level of love and approval for ourselves that Source has for us. And I want to remind all of you right now, if this is talking to the truth, which is yourselves, which is your inner being, which is your remembering of the truth, please check out, I've got a new 2-part masterclass, which is called recoverhealthrive.com. recoverhealthrive.com. Write it down. It's a free resource. It's a 2-part masterclass, which is going to start turning you back inwards to get that source soul connection sorted. And I have, for those of you who haven't worked with Quantum Freedom Healing yet, you get a free Quantum Freedom Healing. And that is the tool, and I'll put that in capitals, the tool that I used to reverse all of the old programs back to the source self programs, and I healed the unhealable. We can't do it through our mind. You need to go deeper. This is a spiritual war you are in. And we think that the spiritual war is with that person. They're actually a symptom of the spiritual war we need to heal within ourselves. Okay? And somebody was just saying, yeah, you're so confused about what is really been going on. Absolutely, of course, you are gaslit. You are in a quagmire of inversion and insanity. Because that's what narcissistic abuse is. It is unspeakable, unthinkable, irrational. And this is the problem with it. You cannot heal it logically because it just does not make sense. It doesn't make sense on a 5 sensory surface level. This is a much deeper soul evolution going on here. Catherine, who's saying my mum is a major narc. It's horrific. Catherine, please come into my two-part masterclass. It's going to help you so much. Take your power, your life, and your soul back. Okay? And this isn't just important for us. This is so important for our kids, our future generations, to be able to break this cycle of handing our power, our soul, our life force over to people who were never, ever going to have our best interests at heart. Because they can't. It's not even personal. It's not that they don't choose to. They literally don't have the resources. There is too much fracture in the zeitgeist, and they don't want to heal it. They don't want to fix it. They don't. Okay? And I know that, people are in the chat, they're talking survivors. I really want you to have an open mind and heart enough to park the label survivor, and I want you to start believing and connecting to and learning about how to be a thriver. Because what we went through was unspeakable. It was no less than a near-death experience. The spiritual compensation on the other side of that is not just you getting back to who you were before it happened. Your 100 out of 10 breakdown is your 100 out of 10 breakthrough on the other side of this. When you work with the inner work in a quantum way, in a thriver way. So I want you to start opening up to possibility. This is not just about your survival. There's so much more for you than that. And you shouldn't be settling for it. Okay? Does anybody have any specific questions about this? We are warriors. We're spiritual warriors. Absolutely. But you know what we're overcoming really is our inner programming and the traumas we've carried from our childhood, from our past lives, from the collective, from our epigenetic history, from our families, and our continued adult relationships. That's what we're overcoming. And you're right, Isabel, it's the deep inner healing that is the most warrior-like work you will ever do. Yes, we're healing generational traumas. Absolutely, Jason. We're actually healing humanity traumas. Have you ever had narcs come onto your program saying that they have been emotionally abused? That's a really good question. And the truth would be absolutely. Over the years, there's been a few, but they get outed pretty quickly because what happens is in our program, it's so supportive and loving, yet it is absolutely about the radical personal responsibility. The traumas are in my body. I need to face them. I need to release the victimhood and do the work on myself. And what will happen with people who are narcissists pretending to be victims, or they might even think that they're victims, once they're actually put into that place of doing the inner work, they will attack and scream and carry on like, you know, vampires that you put light on. And they pretty much out themselves. And we have really beautiful, solid, loving boundaries in this community that if, you know, we're helping you and we're going above and beyond, which we do. The Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Program community that I have that stretches through around 150 different countries is so solution-based, supportive and loving. And when people turn and get nasty and attack, well, then we have very, very strict boundaries that that's not okay. And this is our suggestion. And if you keep it up, well, you're gone. We will remove you from the community. It's very simple. We don't tolerate it. How do we navigate the loneliness, BNAS, that we're feeling through the healing process? Load it up, release it, honey. I'm going to target the trauma in my body, generating these feelings of loneliness. Load it up, release it, bring in source, because when you feel with the oneness of source, you're never lonely. You are completely fulfilled. And then what will happen is you will start showing up in ways that start then connecting and attracting like-minded people that are a representation of more of your source-filled beingness state. Okay. And the alone time, Yana, you are so spot on. It's really essential to have the alone time to work on your beingness with source and self. However, loneliness is another trauma. And we don't need to, when you have Corner Freedom Healing, live with your traumas and think it's normal. It's not. It might be your normal, but it's not natural. So release it and fill up and feel, you know, because when you feel lonely and you're stuck in lonely and the trauma of lonely or anything, well then, so within, so without quantum law, you're going to co-generate more experiences in your life that are going to keep you lonely. That's why you let go of lonely and bring in source, and then you're going to still be able to honor your healing, but there are going to be beautiful things come into your life or you'll show up for that are going to be about communion. Does that make sense? Yeah, and Cuba is saying the shifts that you get after Quantum Freedom Healing, it's really hard to logically explain. And this is why I'm so passionate. Everybody, if you have never done a Quantum Freedom Healing before, you need to. Because you will feel inside of you like, what just happened? Like that pain has started dissolving. The obsession has started dissolving. My powerlessness has started dissolving. My CPTSD has started dissolving. That's the results. Rather than trying to think your way out of those states. Okay, so just do it. Just do it. And you want to be doing those shifts before you're trying to be different. Because when we've got the trauma in our program and we're trying to be different, we can't. That's the problem. I want you to think of it like this. Let's say there's a fish in a really dirty fish tank and the fish is sick. And we're just trying to give it pills to eat to get better. It can't. Because its petri dish, it's what it's existing in its beingness, is putrid, it's toxic. This is exactly the same with your trauma in your inner being. You're in a toxic, putrid petri dish inside of you, and you're trying to think your way out of it to be different. You can't. Does it make sense? This is why we've got to clean up your petri dish. We've got to get these toxins out of your body, the trauma out of your body. And what Quantum Freedom Healing does is it loads it all up, releases it, and brings in source and the light, which cleans your fish tank, right? And then you can start feeling, thinking, and acting differently. Please get that piece. Quantum Freedom Healing cleans your fish tank. So again, I really want you guys to go. If nobody has yet, I'm sure a lot of people in you are napping, and maybe this is a message for you to keep napping. Because of course, we can get all human and stuck in our life and in our head and forget to do it, and we're not cleaning the fish tank. What's your sun sign? I'm Libran. I'm Libran, Aries rising, Virgo moon. If you are heavily depressed, what modules should we work on? Okay, so you've got NARP. Okay, just start with module 1. Okay, whatever's coming up for you hard and heavy right now is module 1 of NARP. Okay. Where did you learn all of this, Melanie? Just curious, you are so wise. Jason, my head broke in a complete psychotic adrenal breakdown and I saw the truth. I had an experience, and it's always been the same since. But what's happened is by me continually turning inwards and letting go of my triggers and the things that hurt inside of me and bringing in the light, the wisdom is source. I don't learn, I don't read books. And we see this happen with people who work with Quantum Freedom Healing all the time. They just start becoming so wise because we are without our trauma. I hope that makes sense. My head broke. I had a complete psychotic breakdown. I had complete psychotic episodes. I had a complete breakdown as a result of narcissistic abuse. So literally my brain broke. But you know the thing? Maybe we have to be out of our mind to know the truth. And then I knew the truth. And then I started going down the path of going within and finding the ways, formulating the ways, working out the ways to release trauma, to get the light and the healing in. And that's exactly, what this mission has become. Cleaning the fish tank. Yeah. And we've got a lot of it. We've got the human experience has been very, very, very traumatic. It's so much of it's in our programming. No. I hope you have hope, beautiful people. I really, because if I could just pick you all up and bring you over here, I would. And that's actually what I'm doing. It's my greatest mission and passion in life is to help everybody get to where I am after what I went through. Yeah. All right, everybody. I'm going to jump off now, but I just wanted to drop in with the message and let's just reiterate it so you get very clear. Okay. A narcissist is never going to approve of you because you can't approve of the insanity that is their version of life. You can't, because it's insane. And unless you do to the letter, they're not going to approve of you. And even then, they're going to change the goalposts. even if he did. And people have agreed, acquiesced, handed over their rights, their values, their truth, their stuff, everything. And in fact, a dear friend of mine, Margie, one of her dear girlfriends, was with a narcissistic husband, and she wanted him to love her because her mother had never loved her and she hadn't healed it. So she's with a man that she just gave and loved and gave and loved, and years and years and years and years, decades. And eventually she had terminal cancer, and she was, because he emptied her out, destroyed her. And she was in palliative care. And my beautiful girlfriend Margie rang me up crying from out the front of the hospital. And she said, I was holding her in the shower. She's a bag of bones. She's ready to die. He's there sitting next to her on a dating app when the nurses aren't around, saying, how selfish of you to leave me. Of course, I need to find somebody else. And she was in the shower throwing up and crying, saying, why couldn't he have loved me? And when my darling girlfriend Margie, we were both crying, and my girlfriend Margie, she had left a narcissist and got terminal breast cancer and healed it as a result of doing NARP, my program, because she went in, she just blessed and accepted, this is my wake up call and I'm going to heal. And she healed, and her cancer, her tumors that had gone from her breast through her body, they dissolved, and she's cancer free. She's with a great guy having a great life. She came home to herself to let go of her programming, fill with source, and come home to the truth. But she said to me, and she'd already gone through this process. She said to me, it's too late for her. It's too late. She's going to have to do another lifetime again and make different choices and heal next time. It's too late. And we did a radio show together, my girlfriend and I, to put out that message to everybody, because we felt so strongly about it. So, you know, I crashed and burnt. I ended up with a complete psychotic adrenal breakdown. I was 80 pounds, which is 37 kilos. I hadn't eaten for about 6 months. I could only sleep an hour at a time, and everything broke. And I was told by the medical establishment I would need 3 antipsychotics for the rest of my life to even function at any capacity. It wasn't the truth. It was the incredible trauma in my body generating all of those conditions. And when the trauma lift and source came in, everything healed. Everything. I don't have any abuse symptoms. I don't have any obsession. And I am more expanded, powerful, self-loving, truthful, authentic, honest, and courageous than I've ever been in my whole life. Because I came home to source. So I want, yes, being as the body is meant to heal. Our bodies are sourcing. They are incredible. And if we clean our petri dish, they look after themselves in the most miraculous ways. So I didn't want to tell you that story to depress you. I wanted to inspire you that no matter how bad it is, no matter how bad it is, you can come home. All right? Because it is so not true that we can't heal from narcissistic abuse and that you're always going to be suffering PTSD. I want to slap everybody who says that. It's not true. It is true if you stay in your head and you don't do the inner work. Absolutely, it's true. You know, trauma is inevitable. Suffering is optional. You can turn your greatest breakdowns into your greatest breakthroughs. Oh, thank you, Christina, for saying I look amazing. It's really interesting, you know, at 55 years of age, I have, you know, and for years now, you know, people that I've bumped into, and they knew me back in my 30s and 40s when I was going through all of this narcissistic abuse, and they say to me, you look so much younger now than you did then. And I know I do, because I've got source in my cells, because I clean my petri dish, and I got better, and I do better. And we see people on the NARP program all the time. Sometimes we see them, you know, people in my Thrive communities, in my Super Thriver, week to week, we look at them and we go, my God, you look 10 years younger, because they've let go of decades of trauma. And it's like, wow, you are glowing. We're meant to heal. Life source is true thriving. We are meant to heal. Okay. So anyway, I'm glad I can inspire you, because I want you to be thriving as much as me, or more so. That's what I want for everybody. No. We are meant to heal. When is there going to be another Thrive course? Good question. We're going to be putting that out there soon, I do believe. I lose track. My team is so amazing. They just go, Mel, we got this coming up, we got this coming up. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, that's kind of what I do. I'm the healer. I'm sort of in the space doing what I'm doing, and they just tell me what's coming up. But I do know there is another Thrive coming up. So look out for that, people. But the thing that I really want to steer people onto that are not aware of Thrive Healing, and you're not sure how it works or what, please just go into that 2-part masterclass, because I really do believe it's one of the most comprehensive, demystifying things I've ever put together to really help you get well. So please check it out. All right. Okay. Love you all so much. Thank you for having the courage to have these truthful conversations. You know, I really, really salute you for having an open mind and an open heart to actually look at the truth. We all need to glow a light in this darkness, and it's the truth that's going to do it. Okay? So go to the ones looking for the masterclass, which, if you're not NARPing, and you know what that means, the people who are doing it, well then please go see it. So it is Recover, Heal, Thrive, all those words together, recoverhealthrive.com, and it's completely free. So go there, I know, and make sure you go do the healing. It's going to help you so much, right? This is your lifeboat. The ship's burning, going down. This is your life raft. Jump on it. It's going to help a lot. All right. Love you all so much. Have a beautiful day wherever you are. And we'll talk soon, okay? All right. Lots of love. You're so welcome. And thank you. Bye-bye.